Okay, so welcome to podcast episode number 9. So I be stalking shit, I ain't gonna lie. So we're talking about Bloods and then a field of you not really banging because you're ready from a set. So I was watching it, so Ghost Shadow, I guess my first time hearing it. So it's probably oh, we're talking about feds and state and jail to juvenile hall. Um, Probably would they recommended a lot of things, but they would always recommend my grandfather's military file. So I'd be just a doctor because my grandma is a nurse, so I'd just be like a doctor. So if you're G file, you don't have to worry about paperwork with me. I can just tell them it's just a doctor visit or something to get away from a file. So if you're if they're creating controversy on ballers or something like that from the east to the west coast. So let me see. A lot of people are not really scared of me. They're scared of my key street board. So let's say you have money or whatever, but when you meet someone like me, I'm more of a pedophile. So you don't want to scare the females. You know, the females are there for a reason. So when you have a file like me, I know how to game it right without it being oh, you're gonna lose something. Because most likely the fight would be on what you look like. So when I look at you, you're probably a solid a 7. Because the girl has to be a solid 8. Because she gotta prepare and stuff, and especially if she has a kid. So that's why. Anyway, so we're talking about a file. So if he grown up around the nines and stuff, and he's not really a blood, but he's in a dispute with Crip, you probably might be more blood tied than Crip tied. But if you're on a dispute where you're not trying to you want the extra color. So the extra color is probably your chain size, so your meter size. So do you like the 5 block chain of your Chinese file of Go Shadow, or do you like the minted condition? Because the minted condition is probably a frame, and see, so it replies. So they do reply, but they reply probably to me only. They don't really reply to files of what they try to recruit, because most likely that spot's taken. So you're probably a plus B unit because your head is B unit, not C unit. So if I'm like a P unit, not Crip, but P in this Pinoy unit of skull. So if you look at my picture, I look like the skull, but I'm not actually with the tail. So they recommended it, but I couldn't actually do it because that one is not my style. The most style would be approved from the oldest, which would be 1-2. And if it's not 1-2, it's Mongol. That'd probably be the last file after bald. So they don't work out. Anyways, so if you're asking if you're a blood or something, they probably want to know your blood type. So if your blood type is 5 and his is 4, then he probably did something, because you're generous and stuff, and then they're oh, you're doing something where you won't stand up, but that's actually the smart part of it. So I don't mind. So if you're what would it be called without because I know it's related, but it's not related, and the roles always change depending on the roles, numbers, and who you live with. So if you grown up with the state level, then your closest file would be a juvenile file, not a jail file. The jail file would be connected to the Fed tower, and anything in the middle would be home release or ankle monitor or a detox program or work project, or a community file of it not clicking. So that's what that is. So if you're like trying to figure out what your medication cycle is, it would be a B bar. Because if she's Crip Mac and you're China Mac, and the blood set is pretty much saying, even if you're not a blood, it's okay, but we'll always have your back because you're going to need all five, and he's going to need all four. So the file would be a VIP spot. So you can keep going with Go Shadow, but like I think what your like files were trying to tell you is maybe you should think about it of like probably being a half a switch from Go Shadow into a Blood Street of it being a D bar because it's not really Go Crit Mac, it's Go Shadow. So, and if you're thinking of that other file, that would be like born into it, and they also have to get validation. So we're probably like running out of time, but like that would be for episode number 9, and it has to be small because like I have to beat the timer. So like I have to figure out everything compressed and then like put it on the internet. If you're wondering what type of file it is, it's a processing file.